Playingmaxxing versus dating.
Ooh, Playingmaxxing versus dating. So my first relationship, right? 4 years. I started practicing a lot, like within the second year of the relationship, but I still like had enough time to hang out with her type shit. And also like we did every activity outside of school together. Basically, like it was like show choir type shit and like band too, marching band, all that shit. In the last stages of it, in the last stages of that relationship, like I was basically like not texting her back for days and just shedding. And this was when I was shedding like 4 to 5 hours. So that shit, bro, like that shit, bro, those practice sessions I was having in that late stage of the relationship where I knew it was cooked. And she was like just within days of breaking up with me, basically. I was having like my most productive sheds of all time, bro. And low key, the same thing happened in the second relationship. So, what I can say about Playingmaxxing and dating somebody for long term, which at this point I have experience with, a long term relationship. And, the questions that are at the forefront of my mind right now, is this somebody that I'm going to marry? Is this somebody I'm going to have kids with? Just really be careful if you're trying to settle long term with someone. Really think about your practice time and what you're trying to accomplish. And also if they fit into your future of, it also depends how you feel, like what's your vibe? Like do you want to like go 50-50 or do you want to do like the 100 shit and be baller? And I think personally it's more fun if you're closer to the end of the spectrum that's 100% and you can be baller. You feel me? So that's just my honest opinion about dating and Playingmaxxing. And, as musicians, we're people who, like, the point of being a musician, right? You got to be, you're trying to be successful. If somebody's a musician, they could be very successful, they could not be. And they could also appear to be very successful and not actually be. Looks maxing plays into that too. So like if you're somebody who is really good at your instrument and you're like relatively looks maxed and but you're broke though, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of the girls you'll meet, like they'll think, I don't know, it's this weird in between. It's like they see the motion, they see the lifestyle, like you're going here to do a gig or whatever. I don't know like personally how they think about it. How like because they're outside, they're completely outside of what like musician life is. So they might see you do all this shit, right? And maybe think that you got motion, get money, whatever. And that could be part of attracting a woman too. It's like they're attracted to like lifestyle, but it's like really in the like behind the scenes, you don't have that shit. And then they might expect all these things from you. A lot of people say, like about relationships, why they're good. There's different compartments in your brain that kind of need to be satiated for you to have a good quality of life. And I'd say for people, it varies on how important it is, but the romantic connection and the sexual connection and all that shit, that's probably like 10 to 20% of people's brains, if not more, depending on who you are, what your circumstances are. When you're in a relationship, that aspect is very satiated in both of those categories, in the romantic, sexual, whatnot, in an ideal relationship. Because it's compartmentalized properly now, the aspect of your brain that's like dedicated towards work and shedding, bettering your musicianship, Playingmaxxing, that aspect of your brain that's dedicated to that is now fully maxed out. Because you have that like strong like 10-20% foundation, and then you're riding that wave, and then you have like 20% for like quality time, whatnot, like sleep. And so when you don't have that aspect compartmentalized, or if you're like in some like sort of situationships and it's like rocky, you might be smashing and dashing, you might be doing both, and feeling a void after those interactions. But playing maxing and dating, it's such a interesting conversation. So what I can say about the previous relationships I had that were very long in the periods in which I was the most locked in, it's probably like, instead of the 10-20% that's the relationship, romantic, whatnot part of my brain that's satiated, and then I have like the 60% when I was in those stages, where it was I wasn't talking to them at all, I was just shedding so much. Those stages of my life, it was probably like 80, 90, maybe even 100% of my brain was devoted towards the music thing. And that's just my personal experience. That's just how I'm wired. Not everyone is like that, but personally, that's what happened to me. And yeah, you just gotta be mindful of how much time you're spending with them, how much you really like this person at all, how much of a future you see with them at a certain point, unless you're just like fucking around. But then with fucking around, you just feel a void a lot of the time. But it's fun. It's like a emotional roller coaster. So it's like pick and choose, or you're just not fucking at all type shit. At a certain point, you need that 10 to 20% satiated in your mind. But yeah, that's honestly